Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today it is time to talk about the tank that has transformed into a real competitor for the awesome Leopard 1, the Concept 5. Let's go. So, the Concept 5 has received a significant buff. And while it remains a huge boxy tank with no armor whatsoever and with horrible traverse speed and the disadvantage of being a British wheeled medium tank with all the disadvantages, check out the video that I previously made about this tank, it now has a wonderful gun with a very high alpha, extremely good gun handling, and it remains a superb combination of speed and firepower. So let me show you how the combination of speed and mobility works just fine in the current meta, but before let's take a look at a comparison between this tank and the Leopard 1. In order to understand the current role of the Concept 5, let's take a look at the past, how the Concept 5 stood up against the Leopard 1 prior to patch 2.0. So previously the Concept 5 was just worse compared to the Leo 1 with way worse DPM, almost the same alpha damage with worse gun handling, although slightly better dispersion values, with worse mobility, although better power to weight ratio. Of course, no armor whatsoever, maybe an advantage right here, and then worse camo value plus worse view range. So all in all, the Concept 5 was just a worse copy of the Leopard 1. Now some things have changed because the Concept 5 with its buff has now a much better alpha damage, 460 compared to 420. This is noticeable, and the DPM delta has been reduced, not to a point where it is on par with the Leopard 1. However, you can work with 2.4k DPM. Now, the gun handling, in my opinion, is now better than the one of the Leopard 1. The aim time is slightly worse, however, the rest of the values is better. And I should mention that I'm talking about the effective values right here. It has almost the same gun depression just as before, mobility is just as before, and then it also remains its worse camo value compared to the Leopard 1. So yeah, all in all, I wouldn't go so far to say that the Concept 5 is the better Leopard 1. However, it has been improved and now it offers the better alpha damage alongside with the better gun handling, and I think this is quite an interesting niche for the Concept 5 because in some aspects or in some particular situations it is now better compared to the Leopard 1. So to summarize this tank, well, the Concept 5 is a typical glass cannon sniper medium tank. It does not have any armor whatsoever, so this means that you cannot brawl against other tanks. But the good thing is this tank offers mobility and a very strong gun, decent alpha damage, and also a pretty strong gun handling. So the only thing in theory you have to do is you have to man a certain position, best case second line to maybe third line or somewhere in the rear of the map, and then you simply take one shot after another. You want to wait until you are not spotted anymore, and then you take one shot after another, and then with this lovely alpha damage you will be able to easily build up damage. So we just want to wait until we can take the next shot, and then we can build up damage. Now, of course, with this playstyle, the influence on the game is limited. However, you can simply make a decent chunk of damage in every game. So, next shot, and voila, 1.4k damage. So as soon as the adversary team advances, we have to retreat because once again we cannot brawl whatsoever in this tank. This is just a limitation of such a glass cannon tank. However, we can use our mobility, we can retreat to a more defensive position, and then we simply want to make one shot after another, thus increasing our damage until we are one of the last tanks in the game, and then we will maybe lose the game, maybe win the game, but we will make a decent chunk of damage. So we simply take another shot and then we retreat because we might get spotted. We wait 10 seconds until we're not spotted again, and then we move out of cover for the next shot. So next shot, unfortunately we do not hit. And next shot, this time we aim at the frontal portion, nice. And next shot, and voila, we already made 3k damage. Game is on the losing side, but we can steadily build up damage. Next shot onto the Leopard 1, nice, so 3.4k damage. So next shot onto the 60 TP, and voila, 3.7k damage. The game is relatively close. Our influence is limited, however, we can steadily build up damage, so 4.2k right now. And then in the end we want to help out our team. The problem is that we run into the AMX 50B, but we are also attacked from the other side, so nothing what we can do. We have no armor, we cannot bounce any shots whatsoever, and so in the end we are taken out, but we can make a decent chunk of damage with 4.7k in the end. Now, before we start with the gameplay, let me quickly show you how I play this tank. So this is my first equipment build. I play the tank with a turbo and with coated optics and with gun rammer. My second setup is coated optics, CVS, and then an exhaust system. So going for a spotting build in order to outspot one or another tank. This is my crew. So my gunner, then my commander, then my gunner / loader, and then finally my driver. As you can see, where is it? I do not have any field modifications whatsoever, and if you want to take a quick look at my characteristics, here they are. So this is the current state of my tank. All right. First game in the Concept 5, we're spawning on Corellia, and let's now take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Corellia in the south, this is how the game usually develops, and with the Concept 5 you're very flexible. You can go to this position right here, which is kind of a passive position, and try to get one or another shot onto the hill, or maybe onto this position right here, this open field. You can also proceed to the north and try to win this position of the map, although I do not recommend to do this, because if you've won this position, then you have to cross this open field right here, and there are pretty strong defensive positions close to the adversary base. So I'd rather go to this position right here to take all those tanks under fire which are proceeding on top of the hill, or you can try to make the risky move and proceed on top of the hill. Depending on whether you are one of the fastest tanks in the game and whether you are top tier or low tier. Now in this situation, as I am the top tier medium tank, I want to play a bit more risky. I want to use my regular build, so with a turbo loader, with turbo, sorry, and rush into the strategic position, so on top of the hill. Now of course I'm playing against the CS63, but maybe I get a bit of support from my team. Here he is, and as you can see, I'm even faster than this tank. I can make the first damage, nice. And now I need to play smart in order to outrate this tank. So let's go here, let's use our gun depression, and let's try to use the first shot opportunity maybe he will be able to take a snapshot onto us. After all, we do not have any cover, or sorry, any armor whatsoever. He bounces, I bounce, very funny. And now, of course, he has the DPM advantage. He will have reloaded much quicker than we do. But we get support from the E50, which is excellent. And now, with a 2v1 situation, we will be able to defeat the CS63. So, hopefully, we can both make pressure and then simply... Here go. Okay, E50 does not hit. But you know what? If we move out of cover both at the same time, then we can be successful. Okay, take a second shot. No, E50, sorry, E50, where are you? I need to take another shot. Unfortunately, I am losing too many HP in this situation. Even a third shot and okay. E50, I do need you to make pressure to this tank. Looks like the E50 is not the strongest player, but he can manage to take him out. Excellent, and so we have after all won this position. Nice. IG's on our side. We light up the tier 8 Swedish heavy tank. Nice. And with 494 additional damage, we are we already made 2.3k damage right now, and now we have won the strategic position. So this hill, let's fully aim in this gun. Now sometimes you do not even hit such a pixel shot, which is understandable and which is all right, but maybe now, let's see. Yeah, nice, 415 damage, little low roll right here. There is the T32, nice, and here go. So here you go, nice. Okay, that was a drastic low roll, 380. I don't know if actually 80 low roll. Okay, let's see how it goes. Maybe, yep, if he appears right there, nice, we can track him. Excellent. So 3.6k damage within only 3 minutes into the game. Let's try to keep him tracked. Nice. Looks like I get quite some low rolls right here in the game, which is not a problem after all, because we already made 4k damage in this game. And yeah, I think this kind of summarizes this tank. It has the better gun nowadays compared to the Leopard 1, and with the Concept 5 you really want to exploit this strength and you want to keep your gun going. The DPM is not the best one, however we are living in an alpha meta in my opinion, so I would go so far to say that having a better alpha is preferred upon better DPM. And so I think Wargaming did a pretty nice job buffing this this vehicle, and it's nowadays a pretty solid alternative to the Leopard 1. Okay, so game is on the winning side, so we want to hurry up in order to make more damage until or before the game is already won. I'm spotted, no problem whatsoever, because I want to hit the T110E3. Nice. And here go, next. Okay, he's turning his tank towards us, so we need to drive behind cover, wait 10 seconds until we're not spotted anymore, and then we want to move out of cover. Wait until the T110E3 has relocated. Nice, little high roll here, excellent. And so yeah, within only 4.5 minutes, we managed to make 5.4k damage. Excellent result in this game so far. We're spotted, so we once again need to relocate. Oh, FV, yeah. We ever so slightly managed to not get hit, but as we spotted him, we got the sweet 900 and what is it, 940 assisting damage, so excellent. And the game is becoming closer. Looks like our team has lost the northern flank. 5.8k damage. Yeah, the gun is so lovely, and it really works. I can really recommend it if you're looking for a fast medium tank with a solid gun performance, 5 stars out of 5. Then give this tank a try. In the end, a little stupid gameplay by myself right here, but I think this game showcased the insanely strong gun of this tank, and with this nice gun alongside with this fantastic alpha damage on a tier 10 medium tank, you are able to build up damage so quickly with this tank, and it's super fun to play. So 5.8k damage in the end, 7.2k combined. I think a decent result. Little spoiler, in the end we will lose this game unfortunately, but once again I think a decent showcase. Okay, second game in the Concept 5. We are spawning on highway, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on highway in the north, this is how the game usually develops, and with the Concept 5 you have multiple options. You can brawl with the heavy tanks in the city, but only if you conduct second line gameplay. But I think the much better choice is to play in the north, because there are quite some nice positions that you can use. For example, this one right here, maybe a bit more to the north, in which you can try to spot for your team, and in which you have the first shot opportunity, and also in which you can fall back into cover. So in this game I want to use my spotting equipment, and I want to play on the northern side of the map, and as this map has been reworked, there are now quite some interesting places where you can play and where you can make your tank work. So I want to use my speed in order to go to this small hill over there, because there's some nice bushes that I can use to get the first spot, or the spotting advantage, and then thus the first shot advantage to all of the, not all, but to the majority of the enemy tanks which are trying to rush to the northern A1 position. Nice, so that's what I want to see. And first shot, 478 damage, nice. And the gun is so consistent. I have to say, with my sessions that I played in the Concept 5, I really got addicted to this gun handling. It is so much fun, and it is even slightly better than the gun handling on the Leopard 1, I have to say. So yeah, this tank is so much fun. I know it's the worst spotter compared to the Leopard 1. We already took a look at the statistics, but the gun handling feels so nice and so convenient, and it is certainly the strong part of this tank. Yeah, I mean, take a look at this gun handling. It is so excellent, and it is so much fun. Alright, with my spotting equipment I have a reload time of a bit more than 10 seconds, which is alright, because I want to hide for 10 seconds anyway, in order to not be spotted. And so yeah, this is kind of a perfect scenario. I just want to take shots. I want to spot for my team, spot for myself, and then take shots basically as much as I can, and then simply retreat to a safe position, wait 10 seconds until I'm not spotted anymore, and then peek out of cover into this bush. Once again, get the first shot advantage onto all those tanks. Go, nice, and yeah, voila. This is the miracle of the Concept 5, or this is basically how you should play this tank. So we are on the losing side. However, I think our side of the map is under control. Now let's knock down this tree. I think I'm spotted. No, doesn't look like. Okay, so sorry, I can fall back into this bush. Can I get a shot? Can I take a shot onto the griller? No, doesn't look like. Maybe onto the A phase 1. No. Okay, I think I still want to cover the M46 pattern. Here you go. Let's kill the M48 first. Nice. Only 118 damage. However, I think it's a good decision to take out guns in this situation. This decreases the chance that the M46 pattern is getting pushed out. Here you go. Nice. And I mean, take a look at this gun handling. The gun handling is so awesome after the buff of this tank, and yeah, I have to say, I personally like fast medium tanks without any armor if they have a decent gun handling, and of course also if you can play vision games. But with my spotting equipment I actually can play vision games with this tank, which makes it then in the end a pretty flexible tank, because on open maps like this one, or maybe on Malinovka and Prokhorovka, I use the spotting build. Then I am able to spot for my team, maybe not against light tanks, but certainly against other medium tanks. Of course, I still, in this situation, or in such a situation, need to watch out for medium tanks like, for example, the Leopard 1 or maybe the AMX 30, if they are also played with spotting equipment. But besides this, I have a pretty okay spotting tank with the Concept 5 in this situation. And if I'm playing on another map, on a city map, on a map where I do not think that I am dependent on spotting, I simply use my regular build, even boost the mobility of this tank with the turbo, and then also with the gun rammer. So those are my two equipment setups that I have for this tank, and it works out just nice with this tank. Alright, game is close. Looks like our team is about to win. Here you go. About to win the city, which is nice because I think we have everything under control in this, on this flank. And yeah, I mean 2.8k damage, 1.9k assisting damage, already a decent result. Alright, yeah, our team is winning the city, thus we are in general on the winning side, so I think we will soon need to hurry up. Now the problem is I do not want to advance on this flank, simply because I do not want to bring myself in a situation in which I brawl frontally, especially against the Vykodav. I don't know how you pronounce this tank, but I do not want to brawl frontally against any tank, let alone against multiple tanks. So, blind shot right here. So I think it is time to relocate into the middle. M46 Patton has also relocated. Let's see whether I can spot here. But I think the easy foods have been collected on this flank, so let's relocate and let's try to go into the middle and maybe fight against the AMX 1390 and maybe also the FV215B. Of course I need to exercise caution, simply because I do not want to take damage by this tank. This is why I try to move the long way around this position, so the F6 position. Plus I'm working with my view range circles, so notice how I am ever so slightly allowing the white ring to be on this position. Now I can move towards this position. Yep, I am spotted, so you know what, I think it's a too risky gameplay. So let's move a bit more to the rear. Our heavy tanks have already managed to go into the adversary base. So we need to hurry up in order to make more damage. Game is a bit closer, 10-7. But now I think it's time to cash in and to offer my HP in order to get more assisting damage. So this shot is not successful. Maybe I can proxy spot the AMX 1390. Let me see how it goes. Maybe. Okay, here you go. Yeah, there he is. Nice, and one shot. Yep, of course he can now empty his clip. But with my second shot, or with my second shell, I should be able to take him out. So let's lead this shot. Nice, and we can take him out. I've lost quite some HP, which is nice, and which is not a problem whatsoever, because the game is now on the winning side. And after all, we currently made 5.6k combined, approximately. Decent result. Next shot onto the Char Future 4. And yeah, once again, I think this game was a pretty damn good example, or basically showcase, of how sweet this gun actually is. We do not hit this shot, or we do not pen, due to the armor of the side of this tank. which is fine, but we can use our mobility in order to at least get the kill shot onto the arty. Nice, 3.8k damage, 2.5k assisting damage. Excellent result with the Concept 5, and yeah, I think the overall, here you go, nice. Wow, okay. I think this was super unfortunate, but I think the overall message that I want to tell you is give the Concept 5 a chance. The gun handling is outstanding and it's super fun to play. And finally, last game. This time we spawn on Pearl River, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Pearl River, this is how the game usually develops, and with the Concept 5 you have several options. Now you can go to the middle and try to be super aggressively and push to the central position, or play a bit more defensively right here. You can go to this flank, to this kind of position, and try to make one or another shot onto those tanks right here, which are maybe spotted by your light tank. Or you can even proceed to the heavy lane, push aggressively here with your mobility, then get a first shot onto the heavy tanks, and maybe then later on proceed down here and yeah, go to this position of the map. Now on this map, with this spawn, I usually tend to make an aggressive play with my medium tank, at least if the medium tank is relatively fast, which is the case in the Concept 5. This is why I use the mobility setup of this tank. So let's see how it goes. Okay. Should have left more space to the Gorilla 15. However, I think he could also have paid more attention to me. After all, I need to drive into the position, but now I've lost too much time, so I think, yeah, IS-7 already pushed through. Yeah, okay, I think I can understand the Gorilla 15, which kind of had the same game plan, so yeah, he also wanted to rush into position, which is nice, and then simply I want to go to this position right here, kind of an alternative position. If I cannot go to where the Gorilla went, so to the B8 position, then I can basically flex and go to this corridor and maybe get a second shot onto the Leopard 1. So we'll see how it goes. Now, in this situation, it is paramount to see how many tanks of the adversary team have been spotted so far. And if you take a look at the top right corner, you see that every single adversary tank has been spotted. None of those tanks have been spotted at the what is it, the D7, D8 position, and so this is why I can move forward. Now I want to make sure that I do not get proxy spotted by those tanks right here. And then, as they are engaged in a fight, I can now use my position to open up a crossfire situation. The only thing I need to make sure is I need to wait until those tanks have turned their turrets towards our teammates, and then I can make damage. So now the IS-7 is looking towards me, so I cannot take a shot onto him. Now he's turning his turret. K1 has just shot, so now it is time for another shot. And okay, this tank is taken out, so I can take a shot onto the KO1. So I can only go into this position because I know that all of the adversary tanks have been spotted. Now I move out a bit too far, so I get a shot by the Badger 25T. But now I'm in a pretty good, here you go, nice, in a pretty good position, and yeah, voila, within only 3 minutes, already 2.7k damage. So if you can make this gun work, then this tank performs outstanding. And next shot onto the Badger 25T, nice, and I think I want to proceed into the middle, actually to make more damage, because the game is already won and we need to hurry up in order to make more damage. Now we are working alongside the Taschenwaffe, which is nice. Let's take out this tank, excellent. So first kill, 3.3k damage, and let's reload our gun. And now Let's try to take a shot onto the Leopard 1. We still have enough HP. Okay, this was a bit too fast, to be quite honest. Yeah, which is fine. You know what? Maybe I can drop down right here. Let's... Okay, I tried to take a shot. I should not have taken this shot. Now I need to reload. Of course, I have enough HP, but now this tank has already been taken out. In the end, we made 3.3k damage, 4k combined within only 4 minutes, and I think another fantastic example of how this tank performs. In the end, I think the Concept 5 is now in a pretty sweet spot. It has a fantastic gun handling, even better than the one of the Leopard 1. It's a very mobile tank. It's not the spotting tank. It doesn't have the same spotting qualities compared to the Leopard 1. However, once again, it is a fantastic tank. It is so much fun to play. This gun performs outstandingly good, and I can really recommend to play this tank. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the Concept 5, the buff British tier 10 wheeled medium tank. What do you think about this tank? Do you like it? Do you think it has become a real competitor for the Leopard 1? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up or hype the video. You can hype the video multiple times. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via super thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.